Wow. I didn't think a movie about extreme sports was going to be so boring. That's quite the accomplishment. Like, top 10 worst movies of the year accomplishment. Let's move on. Hello and welcome back to another midnight showing. As always, I am Kelly, and I just got out of Point Break. Boy, is this movie bad. But before we go into the movie, I just like to point out I got a new poster, and it's Star Wars, which you can't see because of the glare coming off of my lighting, because I have no backlights yet. Yay! And moving on back to the review, Point Break. Why was this movie remade? Answer: it was not remade. This movie has nothing to do with Point Break. Oh, it may have Johnny Utah. It may be about a bunch of criminals using extreme sports. But you know what? It's not Point Break. This clearly just started as a montage for extreme sports, and an exec said, hey, you change a few character names, add two superfluous FBI guys, and I think that we've got ourselves a Point Break remake. Someone please fire that guy. Whoever does this, please fire them, because this movie was horrible. Honest to God, non-spoiler version, this movie gets a fuck it from me. It was painful. All it was just a series of extreme sports that had little to do with an actual plot. Oh, they're chasing the Onizuka, whatever the fuck that is. Apparently it's 8 trials, 8 extreme sports that are supposed to be impossible. You could train your whole life to do one of these things and never even accomplish it. So doing all 8 is the way to find peace and balance and nirvana, and by God is this cliche. The number one problem with this movie is that it takes itself way too seriously. Looking at the original Point Break, it's not a masterpiece. It's a self-aware B-flick with cop elements inside of it. That's what made it fun. That's what makes it enjoyable. Admittedly, its splash in the Hollywood market is basically limited to how much it influenced my favorite comedy, Hot Fuzz. That's about as much as I can say that it did for anything. So again, I asked the question, why was this remade? Because it's a quick payday. They dumped $100 million into this, hoping it's going to sell on name alone, and it's blowing up in their face. If you're into extreme sports, don't watch this movie. Yes, what they do is very cool, and they even shoot it in kind of cool ways by actually having the camera and the cone of the waves as it come down. Actually have like GoPro shots of a lot of these guys as they're doing all these different stunts and whatnot. But at the same time, if you want that, you can go on YouTube and find a compilation video. And it's cheaper. The acting in this from everybody is beyond wooden and overly serious. Every single word inside of this feels like they got shot with the damn Nolan ray, because they have to emphasize the importance of everything they're saying. The Onizuka is everything, man. You need to risk your whole life for it. You need to pray to the god of Onizuka who died during these challenges. I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh my god, this movie was bad. It's painful. I never thought I'd say this, but Keanu Reeves' early days of acting was better than any performance I put inside of this film. How do you do that? That is a fucking marvel. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So for those who want to stay for spoilers, let's get going. So the movie opens up with Johnny Utah, who hates that name, by the way. He makes a point of that every time they reference it. Just call him Johnny. If you're not going to even admit that his name is Johnny Utah, why did you even leave it in there? He and his buddy are about to motocross this really, really difficult snake path and then do a jump onto an archway that I think is supposed to be in Utah, but as someone who lives in Utah, I can tell you that's not what the arches look like. And of course, they're doing this for a sponsor to sell Red Bull. But oh no! Although Johnny is the savant and he's able to do this impossible task without blinking an eye, even though the landing pad of this arch that they're jumping onto is maybe 5 feet in diameter in all directions, Oh, he's able to do it. His friend, however, overshoots his jump and he ends up falling to his death. What a shock! People who do extreme sports like this are idiots. That's not to insult the people who actually do these extreme sports, but even if you saw this sport, you'd be like, okay, that's fucking stupid and suicidal. Basically, every single one of the Onizuka trials, or whatever the fuck they're called, because I can't probably pronounce it right, are just basically that. They're a bunch of suicide stunts. And how you're supposed to reach nirvana or enlightenment or fucking anything from that, no screenwriter was thinking about that when they wrote this movie. They really weren't. Cut to several years later, where Johnny has basically given up his career as a extreme motocross rider, and he's joining the FBI. He's still in school, and during one of the classes, they bring up this weird case involving people basically motorcycling out of a building only to parachute down, which anybody who knows anything about parachuting knows that that's not possible because you need a minimum open distance, which there's no building high enough on the Earth except for the freaking glass building that they used in Mission Impossible 4 to actually base jump off of and open your chute. But whatever, Hollywood, I guess. And that's when it hits Johnny. Oh my god. These guys are adrenaline junkies. They're extreme sports fanatics. 1. He is still in training. He is not part of the FBI. Why did nobody in the actual FBI put this together? 2. Why the fuck would you come to that conclusion anyway? Yeah, they do extreme things to subvert security, but that doesn't mean that they're extreme sports athletes. That could just mean that they're adrenaline junkies. It could just mean that they like base jumping. It could just mean that, oh, I don't know, fucking hell, they think outside the box and they plan ahead. Hell, for all we know, this could just be IMF, going back to my Mission Impossible references. And thus the teacher of this school, who is somehow one of the heads of the FBI, takes a student and gives him the right to go to France, where he thinks the next thing is going to take place at, just to see if his theory is right. Oh, how I can count the ways this is stupid. 1. A fucking trainee. A goddamn trainee. A guy who literally has not passed his classes yet. And you're putting him in the fucking field? 2. So now you're telling me that the FBI can work outside of the USA and actually have jurisdiction in fucking France? No. They can have joint operations with the French government, and then they can do stuff like that. But no, they just send Johnny out there, and boom! He's perfectly allowed to go investigate these people. He's perfectly allowed to extradite them if he needs to. He's perfectly allowed to shoot them if he has to. Oh, the ways you have to count the fail. And 3, they give him a partner there. You want to know what that partner does? Drives him from point A to point B. And nothing else. Literally, his partner inside of this state does nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing. Oh, he gets in a shootout with him later, but yeah, he gets nothing. He just stands there and he looks gruff. I guess that was basically the role of Gary Busey inside of the original Point Break. But come on, it's 2015. You can't tell me you can't write a side character that actually had a point in the story? And thus Johnny ends up meeting them instantly and becoming BFFs with them. And they go on to extreme sports montages for the next hour. Literally. No crimes, no talk of the Onizuka, no talk about all this shit. It's just extreme sports everywhere. And God, is it boring. First off, Johnny is a motocross rider. How the flying fuck can he surf, snowboard, fucking parachute, and God knows everything else they tell him to do, including one of the hardest wall climbs that they are making out to be impossible ever with no ropes or gear? How? This guy is a motocross rider. As he says several times in this, people can only train to do one of these trials for their entire life. Yet he's doing them all like they're nothing. They're fucking nothing. He just climbs up this fucking mountainside with nothing but some powder, which he pulls out of his fucking ass, and he's perfectly fine. Even though the other guy that's been training with the fucking big bad of all of this can't do it, and he ends up falling down. There's unbelievable, and then there's just fucking stupid. And the whole time, every single actor inside of this is delivering their lines like they're fucking Jesus Christ. We need to go stop these men. And I don't want to send you into there, boy. You don't understand how the world works. You don't understand how the FBI does it. You're going to get in over your head and you're going to end up sleeping with some gutter trash. But I can do this. I know I can do this. All you have to do is listen to me. Oh God, it's not fun when Robin does this inside of Batman. Do I have to really listen to Junior Cop, who's not even a fucking cop, say this? And then every single conversation with the actual bad guys is like they're talking about some grand spiritual quest. You don't understand. This is so much more important. It's not about finding Nirvana. It's about giving back. It's about finding that inner balance and peace. It's about doing more with our lives than just taking. That's very interesting. But it seems like all you're doing is taking and then dumping all the stuff you take on other people. That's not giving. That's stealing. It's not Robin Hood. It's more of just jackass. You just don't understand, man. It just... the way that all of it goes, because it's all so beautiful. I make the joke about them smoking, but they actually are stoners in this movie. And yeah, that's basically the plot, is that they're committing all of these crimes to do two things. Do the Onizuka, and then give back for them doing the Onizuka, because apparently that's taking too much from the world. And yes, this is exactly what I want to do to this movie right now. It's boring. It's predictable. All of the acting is wooden. There's no point in this thing existing. Although it has some cool shots of extreme sports, that's not going to carry a movie. That doesn't even carry my interest through a fucking YouTube video. And why would it? Why would any of this actually be important, be good? Why would we even care? Answer? Nobody knows. I couldn't recommend this movie to you if you actually liked extreme sports. I couldn't fucking recommend this movie to you even if you fucking enjoyed all of these bad reboots. Hell, I couldn't even recommend this movie if you were actually a fan of bad movies. Because it takes it so goddamn seriously, it's almost unwatchable. At least with something like Batman and Robin, or hell, the original Point Break, they knew that they were bad B-movies. They were somewhat self-aware, and their campiness is fun. This is not fun. It's stupid, depressing, and when there is one fist fight in the movie, it's so shaky cam to hell, you can barely tell that they're even fucking fighting. God! And you wanna know what the worst part is? The fucking worst part? After I got out of this movie, I literally went to go revitalize my top 10 worst movies of the year list. This one didn't even fucking make it in. I'm not even shitting you. On top of that, it's not going to be a top 10 list anymore. It's going to be a top 11 list. Because that's how many shit for brains movies are out there. And I just could not decide to leave one of them off. Double checking my list, I actually did put it as a dishonorable mention, but Jesus Christ. How bad does the year have to be for it to get to this point? And honestly, there's nothing else to say about this movie. If you even have the slightest hope for this movie, extinguish it now. Go watch Star Wars. Go watch fucking anything else that's out right now except for Alvin and the Chipmunks, because I think that honestly, besides these two, everything else is pretty good, if not amazing. FYI, I might find time to go to Alvin, but I'm more looking for the time to see The Hateful Eight, so we'll see what happens. And yeah, that's it for me. Did you enjoy this video? Have you seen Point Break? The original, not this crappy ass remake. Tell me what you thought about it in the comments below, and maybe we'll get some healthy discussion going. And just as a reminder, if I didn't already say it in my earlier parts of the video, I am working on some top 10 lists, now a top 11. So top 10 best, top 11 worst, top 10 most disappointing, and top 10 most surprising films of 2015. And I'll have those up hopefully by the first or second week of January. I'm reworking my schedule. I might be able to get them out during that first week of January. I know other people have actually gotten theirs out. And just as a spoiler warning, Star Wars is not in my top 10 best films of the year list. Frankly speaking, it's only there because it came out in December and it has the word Star Wars in it. I don't trust the critics that have actually put it as their number ones, and I've seen a few of them. Now, if that hasn't caused you to already click off this video yet, be sure to hit subscribe and share the video around. If you want to see some more of my more recent stuff, I'll have that linked in boxes right down here. And if you want to see some more of my my channel or some of my playlists, I'll have those linked up right up here, as well as some audience reactions on this side. And yeah, that's it for me, and I guess I'll see you all next time.